breasts. I want to see Jamie Lee's breasts. When do we see Jamie Lee's breasts?
Brett, not until Trading Places in '83. Jamie Lee was always the virgin in horror movies. She never showed her tits till she went legits. That's why she always outsmarted the killer in the big chase scene at the end. Only virgins can do that. Don't you know the rules? What rules? You don't... Jesus Christ, you don't know the rules?
Have an aneurysm, why don't you?
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie. For instance, number 1, you can never have sex. Big no-no! Big no! Sex equals death, okay? Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs.
Beware, you're in for a scare.
So, I guess we're back for another episode of Movie Labus, and
That's true.
I guess we're doing
Here we are.
Here we are. We're doing it. We're doing
Fear Street.
Fear Street part
Part
2.
1978. Yeah. So we covered Fear Street 1994. So check that one out.
Pretty dope.
If you haven't heard that one yet.
Pretty dope. Bring that back.
Pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Sounds like fucking workaholics.
I don't know why we're doing that. It's like in I don't know why that reminded me of Seinfeld when it's like remember Elaine's dating like the cool guy and George is his friend and he's like says like I'm down all the time.
I'm down.
I'm down. I'm so down.
Was I watching the one where he's where he goes to order the steak and he's like, I want him to call me T-Bone. And he's like, look at George getting a steak. And he's like, I'll also have a T-Bone. Johnson with the T-Bone.
T-Bone.
We'll call you T-Bone. Anyway, so Fear Street, 1978.
It stars Sadie Sink from Stranger Things. Plays Max in Stranger Things.
That was the connection.
Yeah. Emily Rudd, who plays Cindy, and Ryan Simpkins, who plays Alice.
And
Jillian Jacobs is also in this, in in the present scenes. Also Tommy Slater's character, that's McCabe Sly.
And recurring characters from the first.
And
then the
in
rest.
a small, in the first little part, some of the characters from the first movie. This movie is also directed by Lee Janiak.
Did she direct the first one?
She did,
oh,
and
she's doing all three.
She's doing all three. She was also a writer on this one. It wasn't on the last one, so that's interesting. And Phil Graziadei, who also was a writer on the first one, but introducing Zach Olkowicz, who this is his first writing credit. So
cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but those are the 3 writers in this movie. Oh, I forgot to say Emily Rudd, by the way. Do you know who she's related to?
Paul Rudd?
No, you idiot. No connection, apparently.
Really? You wouldn't think with a name like Red.
I had to look that up. Sadie Sink plays Ziggy. And so they're like, so this is, we found out in the first one that
shit's been happening every so many years.
These killings, and we know an important one. It was in the 1978 where Jillian Jacobs survived.
She's the only survivor.
And it's like, we can find out the answers to this and get rid of the witch's curse. So we see what actually happens at the Camp Nightwing in 1978.
And we do. So we kind of come into the camp. The camp's kind of divided into, as the town is actually divided, which is Sunnyside and Shadyside.
It's Shadyside and Sunnyvale.
Sunnyvale, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what it was. So the camp is also divided in that sense, too.
Yeah, which is cool. I liked that.
Right. every year they have like a camp war thing, like game against each other.
Yeah, I figure it's at the end of the summer.
The summer.
They do it in wet, hot American summer. Too.
Yeah, like your standard camp.
I did it when I was in camp. There's like a final day of events that you like.
That you do.
That you compete in.
Yeah.
And in this one, I guess, well, all we see is that it's like that game where it's like tag, but you tag people as like prisoners.
Manhunt.
Is that what it is?
It's kind of like Manhunt, yeah.
Yeah, is that how?
Yeah.
I thought Manhunt was the one where it's like one person, and then if you tag someone, they're on your team again.
Yeah, but isn't that the game that they were playing?
No, it's like they got to keep like the other team in a jail.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
right.
One of those tag games. It doesn't really matter.
It's let's put it this way: it's a bunch of like kids running around the forest at night with questionable things going on. Like,
yeah,
it's clearly at the beginning you're like, okay, well, I don't know where this is going. Like,
yeah. We have like the campers who are like middle school age, and then we have the counselors that are high school age.
Yeah.
So it's like a middle school camp.
Yeah,
I guess.
There's and the counselors are teenagers who are watching over the kids, I guess. The counselors, which thank God, that's all I wanted out of this. You know, they're having sex, they're smoking weed, they're drinking.
Yeah.
You know,
They're
doing camp
summer
stuff.
camp.
Yeah, they're doing camp shit, and I was like, okay.
No, I guess there's one adult, which is the nurse. That's what I was gonna say. No adults
There was
whatsoever.
no fucking adults. That was the first thing I
feel
said
like
there.
There's always like a
There's gotta be someone who's
like
an
the
adult.
person that's running the camp is an adult. There's probably a few of them.
They gotta be.
So that was one weird thing, but yeah. So Emily Rudd, who plays Cindy Berman, as one of the counselors, and Sadie Sink, who plays Ziggy Berman's sister.
Who's her sister?
Yeah, and she's
Yes.
one of the campers.
Yes.
And it starts with her being like tied up by some other campers.
Yeah, and they're like, you're a
"You're a
witch.
witch."
And they're throwing shit at her and like
And it's at the tree that we know as like the tree where
shit goes down.
where Sarah Fear the witch was hanged so long ago. And it's pretty obvious that that's the tree too, because you know, in the first one, it's like obviously the same tree, so we know that.
So it's coming back. There's a lot of recurring things, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, basically the campers are all just having a gay old time. The teenagers having sex. The kids are having fun playing. It's still a town divided, right? They have those camp games. And then one of the guys, what's her face's boyfriend?
Yeah. So Cindy's boyfriend Tommy, they're like hanging out. He's like the nice guy, I guess.
Yeah, he's the safe guy, you know.
Yeah, but the nurse, who was the mother of a girl that went crazy and killed people years before that.
Yes, they tie that in as well.
But so the nurse, like, randomly is like, has a knife and is like,
I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker!
Going to kill Tommy. And they're like, what the fuck? And she's like, I saw your name on the wall. And we know from the first one, name on the wall means it's going to be the next killer. So Tommy becomes the next killer and axe-wielding killer. And
boy, does he fuck shit up.
Yeah, he sure does. Yeah. What did you think about this one?
Loved it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Yeah, no, it was sick. Like, it was like an old 70s horror movie. Like, it's sick. It's basically, it's a solid hour and a half of him just running around fucking shit up, and the kids are just, like, booking it. And, like, and there's a lot of different scenarios because, like, they're playing that game, right? So there's, like, kids out and about, and, like, the counselors are all, like, you know, not doing what they're supposed to be doing and doing each
Off
other.
on their own.
Yeah. Then he just goes out, and then shit just goes down.
Yeah, and Cindy is trying to find the witch's curse thing with her friend Alice. They're like at the witch's hut thing, trying to figure that shit out.
There's also
Which is also cool.
Yeah.
I really liked that we saw the witch's house.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Kind of sets that up.
It's a little bit like, would all that stuff still be there type of thing? But
I think it's setting it up for, like, it was just like indicative of like an old, like, you know, 70s slasher movie. Tommy's running around. Slicing people up. There only ends up being one survivor.
Yeah, so that's the main thing we know going in. As Jillian Jacobs says that
she was the only
survivor.
So, in an attempt to figure out what went, like, how this all came about, she kind of retakes them through the story of like what happened, how it all went down, and like we can kind of see her as a kid form a relationship with like the future sheriff.
So let's just go into spoilers right away. I think.
Yeah, because
Because
it's on
too much.
Netflix. You're good
Yeah.
enough watching it.
Let's do it. Did you know that she was Ziggy, or did you
I knew
think-
she was Ziggy.
Why?
Just because I assumed by the hair color.
They have different hair color. She has red hair.
Yeah, but Jillian Jacobs also has red hair, doesn't she?
No, she has like brown hair, and they say that like
She looks more like Ziggy.
She's like C. Berman, as they call her,
Yeah.
and the girl is Cindy Berman, and then the other one's Ziggy Berman.
Yeah.
So I feel like you kind of didn't realize that.
I just guessed it was her. I knew it wasn't the sister. Because that's what they're
implying.
trying to do, is they're trying to
they're
imply
implying.
that it's that sister, right?
And either way, I think it doesn't really change anything. What do you think?
No, it doesn't. It happened already.
So it's not even
It's a very Raiders of the Lost Ark moment where it's like this would have happened anyway. Like
it's not a so it's not a very like big twist. I like that it was Ziggy because Ziggy's sick.
yeah,
Like I really liked that character, but and also, I guess you should have realized that like her dog in the future's named Major Tom, and the kid's named Ziggy.
yeah. I thought that was always a Bowie play from the beginning.
Yeah, so it's like seems obvious. But also the weird thing about that is like, okay, she clearly, because her name's actually Christina or Christine, but she named herself Ziggy. She must have, and then in the future her dog's named Major Tom. So she's like obsessed with David Bowie. But they never bring it up in the movie. Why don't she fucking?
Yeah, they never mentioned Bowie.
Like they
I
talk
think
about their interests and stuff. I don't know.
I thought the fucking soundtrack was pretty good, but it was also a bunch of Guardians of the Galaxy songs too. Which I mean, I guess you don't own the rights to.
There
the
was
song.
some Bowie in there.
There was a Bowie song in there.
Yeah.
What was the big one? Oh, when she hits the tape recorder. That was the one scene I kind of had a problem with, when the guy comes in and she hits the tape recorder and like Kansas is playing while he's chasing her around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when I was like, okay, I was like, I obviously this is for the like for the movie, right? But I was like,
I guess she was trying to make noise to like drown out her footsteps or shit. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I didn't think about that.
The whole time I was waiting for like, because in the 1994 we see the axe killer there and he's got like the
Bag on his head, yeah.
So the whole time I was waiting for that, I was like,
oh, and
how's
was that
this
so
gonna go
lame
down?
how it kind of came about? The one girl was like, "Dah!"
Yeah, I was just trying to like choke him.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was like, this.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
I didn't mind that.
What I really liked was like the two girls, like how they were like they found them like through the shitters, like in the thing, and
yeah,
and they think they're in the clear. They're like, oh, we're good to go.
Yeah, so they're trying to escape. What happens after they find the witch's house is like they basically are running from Tommy, who becomes possessed in that moment, kills Alice's boyfriend, and then they're running from a bunch of rocks fall and trap them, but Tommy on the other side, so they're like safe, but they're in this large cavern thing they're trying to find their way out of. And eventually
they end up under the outhouse.
Yeah, but it's like the outhouse just goes into a giant pit. Is that how they?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what the one thing that bothered me was. I was like, wouldn't there be shit everywhere?
Yeah,
but there wasn't. And I was like,
there's toilet paper, but even not very much.
Yeah, I was like, there's shit's like
there's a couple toilet paper hanging from the wall.
I was like, I feel like there'd be shit like everywhere. Like unless someone goes down there and cleans it up.
It's kind of weird,
but still, pretty decent. Doesn't really resolve any of the issues that they were going into. It's kind of just its own story. Like it doesn't solve any of the whole main plot. It's kind of just like, oh, I was there and this happened.
Well, what they basically learned is, so in this one they know about the curse and about getting the hand to the body, and they get the hand they find in that passageway thing. And then they go to the tree where the witch was hanged and dig down at the very end. But there's no body there.
Yeah.
So then in the future, the people in the future that we see, they tell Jillian Jacobs. Jillian Jacobs like, we never found the body. And they're like, yeah, but we did. Sam crashed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
So they know where the body is. Yeah, so they figure that shit out. So it's all kind of like coming together. And so the pieces, like it... I like that it matters what happened in 78, because then they know where the hand is.
Yeah, was that the first one where they dig up the hand in the tree, or was that the second one?
They don't find the hand. That's in the second one, yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah, they don't find the hand in the first one.
But they find it in the mall in the second one.
Oh yeah.
That was my only gripe I had.
Hated that.
I was like, wait a second.
First of all, there's a tree in the middle of this mall. First of all, it's a way smaller tree. Second of all, like, no mall is going to be built that way. They build it around a tree?
Also,
right?
Why would that be in the dirt? And it wasn't even that low. It was like a quick.
No, it was right
like
there.
You know, some idiot kid would have just been like, "Hey, look, hand." At the mall, like.
That was really dumb. I kind of hated that, but
yeah, like my one big like thing. I was like, come on.
And also, so the other thing that I was thinking, so the camp is like the original site, because there's the tree there, and it's original site of the settlers. Yeah, the nurse that was trying to unlock the secrets has this little map where she has all the original locations when it used to be called Union, the original settlement. So, like, at what point did this fucking settlement be gone, and now there's a camp there? Wouldn't the town be built around it? That didn't really make sense. How is it in the middle of the woods now?
I think the camps that they're staying in are the houses from the settlement. Like, that's the camp that they're in, or is the old settlement, is all the old houses and stuff.
That's a good point. I never thought of.
Yeah. I'm only saying
but
that.
But don't they rebuild shit from like the 16?
I don't know. These good
wood
wood
last that long?
Yeah. I think it's good.
I guess so.
You know, the good shit.
True. Yeah, because they do it's like the mess hall was the original. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's the original settlement stuff. That's why.
Okay, so either way, then. Why would the original settlement just become a camp and not a town?
I can only assume that like they moved the town because they were like, whatever, there's more resources on the other side. Also, the town's divided into two, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But that's not. They haven't established that. Like you know, in the future, that the town isn't like in the current day, the town is divided into two parts, right?
Yeah.
The rich side and the poor side.
Right.
And the poor side is the side that's killed. Now. Was it like that in the settlement, like in the camp before, or did they move that?
I guess they say it was one place called Union at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you gotta imagine that something might have happened that...
True, so they separated.
Yeah, they separated, right?
True.
It wasn't like over-the-top gore, but it still had like some gory elements to it, you know?
Yeah, I feel like this is a movie that like we would like seeing... You know, some of those older, like, 70s style stuff, and also just, like, you know, it's a little more interesting than modern, like...
Well, yeah, because horror movies now... Well, like, I mean, aren't the better horror movies now just, like, kind of the remakes of old horror movies? Like, really? Like...
Well, I think the better... That's the thing, is, like, to make a horror movie now, I think you have to be really original to make a good horror movie. You know, Midsummer or something like that. Like
Also
those are good horror movies to this day. But I think the problem is I think a lot of young people are not going to like this movie
because they don't appreciate the classics.
That, and it's like not super scary, and it's not like what the kids are seeing these days and stuff. It's not like fucking Paranormal Activity and stuff. So I think a lot of people will dislike this movie, actually. These movies for that reason. Like, it's totally... I guess it is totally the nostalgic audience.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I liked it. And, like, let's get real. The story's not the greatest. Like, it's good.
Exactly, yeah.
But, like, it's more or less for what's going on in it, right? Like, you know, how it's going down, right? And are horror movies ever, like, well-written? Like... Not really.
I mean, yeah, they can be.
They can be,
so.
They can be, but
like The Omen, The Exorcist.
Okay, I will say that. The Exorcist, yes.
Well, yeah, like slashers.
I'm talking like slasher movies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, like Halloween, like, you know, it's like,
yeah.
oh, there he is, like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Like,
so that's what like people don't really. I guess don't really like watch anymore. I think. Like,
yeah, like
these
why?
Days.
Like you can't really break down as much as to why he's an accidentally murderer. Like it's like what makes him tick, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they kind of do that in the. That's kind of what ruined like the newer Halloween movies for me. Like, I mean, not newer, but like the Rob Zombie ones, where they're like Michael Myers is a person and like he's just crazy and like this, and I'm like, you're humanizing him. I was like, this is stupid. I was like,
yeah, that's.
I was like, just let him run amok. Like, you know, He's just fucking some escape mental patient.
Yeah, so
we don't need to overanalyze.
So I guess that's why it works in these movies, because they're just possessed.
Yeah,
so
they're just like, oh, now he's fucked. Like,
yeah. So there's no background you need to get into to why they're doing
like why,
this.
like you know, But yeah, very solid flick. I'd say check it out. I'm excited for the third one.
Yeah. Is there anything else you disliked about this one?
Outside of the hand in the dirt, some acting moments, like it was funny, I did it's a love-hate thing for me. It's like I loved when the guy was like, come on baby, why are you such a prude, like why don't you smoke some weed or whatever. Like I do like those classic, like, because there's always the good kid who's like, no way, like,
yeah,
but it's a classic, but I find it cheesy, but at the same time, like it's kind of like every other horror movie, right? There's always that, like,
yeah, I feel like it could have been more like they could have done more with the camp stuff. Like I feel like they didn't really do enough of that. Like, I don't know. That's kind of hard to explain.
You know what was funny? I didn't think he was gonna kill the kids. I was honestly
really?
like, yeah, I was like, I know they say everybody dies, but
Yeah.
I was like, they wouldn't kill. I was like, oh no.
I thought they were gonna kill the kids. Actually, this brings up something. They say everybody dies, but a bunch of them get away on the bus at the end.
Not the shady side.
It's just like Sunnyvale gets away at the end. Why?
That's
how.
I don't know. They're like that. They're the only people who make it out. Every single person from the shady side camp is dead, except for one.
All right, maybe, but there's a decent amount of them in the little fucking thing. They get on the bus and go.
Yeah, but they're all wearing the red tees or the blue tees or whatever.
True.
The
So
opposite.
yeah, okay.
So only one.
I guess so. That's why because Nick gets away too.
Yeah.
But he's a Sunnyvaler, so
Yeah.
that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucking stupid though, because they're like, yeah, I guess because they're saying the curse is just shady side.
Well, they say that in the first one.
But so in the first one,
They call it the shady side curse.
Yeah, in the first one though, they're like only one person survived, so we can call this person. But a lot of people survived from that event.
Yeah, like the sheriff.
Event.
Yeah.
So why can't they talk to other people about it? Like
They probably want to know why she. Well, remember.
Yeah.
Remember, it follows the same thing as the first one, where they bring her back to life.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's kind of, I think, what they're trying to get at. Like.
Yeah, but they didn't know that at the beginning. I just mean that it's. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a plot hole. Like
It's
that
kind
is.
of. Yeah, I get why they have to talk to her about it. But.
And then you also have to put in Jillian Jacobs into it somehow, right? Like,
I guess.
like
Also,
I didn't even know that was her.
oh no, Jillian Jacobs, I will say, is like, I like her, as a person, and she's funny on fucking
Community.
No, she's funny on like
Love.
podcasts and shit like that and stuff. But she's so bad, and
She's bad in most things acting.
Yeah,
she's not a very
she
good
sucks.
actress. She kind of just plays the same role over and over again. I remember she had that stupid commercial where she's like, people tell you don't have to do what you want, but I drink Coca-Cola Light or whatever. Like they had those stupid
Yeah.
where it was just like it was like anti-fat shaming, but it was like
really?
it was like, well, why are you using her? I was like, get fucking.
So in this, like, she has like fucking like 4 lines. It's like you couldn't have done any better. Like, I don't know.
It's like Ben Affleck. It's like you had 3 things to say, buddy.
Yeah, it's not great.
But she was in it, so
Yeah, so
she's also credited for the third one, so that's a thing.
yeah, obviously she's gonna be in the next one. Yeah, and they set it up where like they have the hand at the end, and they're gonna actually she brings it to the body.
Yeah, she does. And they said at the ending of this one is she travels back into the body of someone from
Yeah. We
16.
see at the end she sees like she's like Sarah Fear's eyes, I guess.
Mhm.
She sees through the reflection of water, I guess.
Mhm.
She sees Sarah Fear or whatever. So she's back in 1666 to see what really happens back
So we get to
then.
the bottom of it, Some twists and turns and some spooky shits. But yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, I'm excited for the next one to see,
How they wrap it all up.
the witch shit.
It was funny because I thought that there was only going to be 3 of these, and I was like, okay, they're like the trilogy ends or whatever, and I was like, okay. Then I looked it up, and there's like 40 books. So
yeah.
so
It's
like let's get real. If this does well enough for them, this could be a continuous thing, right?
I think it will be like a bunch of different stories. Like this one is these 3 about the witch curse, and then there'll be like another 3 about some other shit.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that's
like
what
when
they'll
he used
do.
to do anthology series with like the Goosebumps books, right?
Yeah.
Like, that'd be cool.
I assume that's what it's about. I don't think, like, the books that these are based on, I don't think are actually connected.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not totally
so you think
sure.
they're going off book? Like, they're just, like, making whatever? But why would they use his name? And maybe just for, like...
No, I mean, like, I don't think, like, the slasher story, the camp story, and the witch story are actually connected in the books.
Oh,
they're just separate books, and they connected them through the curse, the witch's curse thing.
Really? That'd be tricky, because there's so many
so.
recurring elements in both.
Not really. You just add the witch thing, and, you know, you just add it to a camp slasher story.
This is the reason, right? Like...
Yeah, no, I'm not sure, so I could be wrong. It just kind of feels that way. Because they're all very different, right?
That they are.
Yeah, and I think the books are like standalone books. You know, It's not like there's 3 and then a next 3 and then a next 3 that are tied together separately. I'm pretty sure they're all like Goosebumps. I think they're all just standalone.
I'm gonna look into this.
Yeah,
because apparently the book series is actually really good.
I guess. Yeah, I think it's a young adult.
Yeah,
series,
young adult thing,
so.
Which I kind of gathered from the movies as well. Too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of shot that way, but it's so hard to tell now, like, because it was like it's adult, like there's boobs and blood and gore and like and
That's
swearing.
True, yeah.
But I'm like, is this for kids now? Because it wasn't for kids before, right? It's hard to tell.
I
like,
guess it's for the kids that like read those books, so they're now older.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or the kids who like Goosebumps, who are now also like us, older.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what they're doing here.
I figure that's what.
Okay, that's
what
the case because
yeah.
I don't want to watch another Goosebumps, right? Because we all know those are. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong; those are some good family spooky fun. But
yeah, this is like definitely a bit better than Goosebumps.
Oh yeah, by far.
So that's cool. Yeah.
I mean, Tower of Terror. Come on, man, that was a classic. That one's a 2-parter too.
I mean, they did make a Goosebumps movie. If you remember,
they made 2.
Did they make 2?
No, there's a second one. I haven't seen it, but
I
I watched the first one.
The Jack Black one.
Yeah, it was like watchable. Like I'd give it like a 6.
Huh.
Like. But it was like, it's basically they find a R.L. Stein played by Jack Black. Yeah. They find this book in his house and they open it and he's like, don't open that book, and it's all of his stories and he's like, damn it, you're supposed to keep them in there, and like Abominable Snowman's fucking shit up and like that dummy's trying to like
I mean that's what happens in the show too. His briefcase opens and all the papers fly
out. Oh
yeah,
littering.
But I guess that's what they're saying in the show is that like. His story's got into now there's all these like monsters.
Ooh,
that's what happens in the intro. I
don't know. Maybe that's what it's about. Yeah, I never even thought of that.
I don't know if it was just like a cool designy moment of like a cool.
No, I think that's exactly what it is. I never thought about it. I never looked in depth to it. Like
because like after that too, then the dog's eyes go. They go yellow. Like I feel like they're saying that like the cursed stories made the dog cursed or whatever.
Oh, viewer beware.
Yeah, you're in for a scare. Yeah, and it's like the fucking letters go over everything. They're like fucking shit up. I don't know. Don't look into Goosebumps too much.
Or do.
Okay.
I guess this wraps up Fear Street 1978. We'll be back with the exciting conclusion to this 3-part series. Which I don't mind a 3-part movie series like this. I'm actually into it. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Like they're a couple hours. I mean, if you think about it, like if you're watching a fucking TV, like you can make this into a 6-hour like mini series, right?
Yeah.
Very easily. Which I'm sure that they flirted with the idea of doing that. But at least this way, it lets them space out content. Right? Is also what I figured as well.
A little bit. They seem to come out they came out pretty quickly.
They come out weekly.
Right, so that's pretty quickly.
Yeah, but instead of posting one thing, where like, because if they put out if they put it as a season, they would have to do all of it at once. So it'd be up, and then you have no more content to drop. I think they have a serious content problem right now.
Huh.
Like, there's nothing for them to put up because everything's being taken away right now. Currently,
yeah, that's true.
They're gonna be left with only their original stuff. Which, oh no. Like, oh no. Some of the original stuff is very good, but some of it is just very, very questionable.
I mean, they've done pretty fairly well. Like, they have a lot of good shit.
So. They do some good shows. Yeah. They have some. I mean, it's like any television network. You can have some good shit. You can have some bad shit. But all right. So, anything else you want to add on the Fear Street?
No, there's no Fear Street in this movie either.
Yeah.
Oh.
find out. Anyway, we're holding on for the third one. Give us Fear Street.
Yeah, obviously it's just named after the series, which is fair.
No, I want the actual.
Okay,
street.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should at least have.
A little.
I don't know. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Like a little-
666 Fear Street or whatever. I don't know.